What's up, guys? Today we're playing some Azorius Mill in Modern. So we've actually played Azorius Mill on this channel before, and this is a slightly different take. So this version's focused more on land destruction, whereas the other version was more of kind of like a mid-rangey mill plan. This version looks to mill our opponent out while also messing with their lands. To do this, we have White Orchid Phantom, Path to Exile. We're making them fetch their basics, along with Field of Ruin. So while we're milling them, we're milling their basics, we're making them fetch basics, and then we're just making their life pretty miserable. Because we get rid of all their basics, Path to Exile just becomes a 1 mana removal spell, no downside. Because we're kind of in a heavy Eldrazi meta, this deck looks to punish them even harder. So Mill already has a pretty solid matchup against them, but adding White Orchid Phantom along with a set of Field of Ruin just kind of seals the deal there. So in addition to those white cards we added, we also have 2 Supreme Verdict. So this is a more control-y aspect. We can kind of establish our board, and then if we face a creature matchup, having Supreme Verdict to just kind of reset the board while we're milling them, that really helps, just because if they get early creatures like Boros Energy, any early aggression, we don't really have any way to deal with that. So moving on to our sideboard, and a huge reason why white is maybe better than black is because we get access to all of these cards. So we have Celestial Purge for red and black decks, Rest in Peace for graveyard decks, Stony Silence for artifact decks, Wrath of Skies, probably the most important sideboard card right now with Affinity, Boros Energy. It just clears everything for the most part. So we have a set of those. We have one Ensnaring Bridge just against creature matchups. Ashiok, good for graveyard decks, good for decks that search a library. Teferi Time Raveler and Force Negation for control decks, combo decks. And then only one Consign to Memory, just because we're so good against Eldrazi, we don't really need the set. But this is good against Eldrazi and other combo decks. So that's just a quick overview of Azorius, Mill, and Modern. Before we get into the video, I want to talk to you guys about becoming a YouTube channel member. You get access to a lot of cool perks like loyalty badges, cool emotes, and early access to videos like this one. Also, we are a Mana Traders content creator, so if you want to save up to 25% on your first subscription, all that information is in the description below. So if you want to see more modern content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and let's get in the gameplay. All right, welcome to match 1 on the play. And we're definitely going to keep this hand. We have a bunch of fetch lands, 2 crabs, Archive Trap. Eventually we'll cast Visions of Beyond. Really solid hand. We can actually lead off on a Shocked Hallowed Fountain, and then save our fetches for both crabs. Hopefully the crab lives. Usually crabs never live. We'll start with the Hedron Crab, just because it's an O2. If they're going to waste removal on it, I'd rather be on this than the O3. Sacred Foundry, Untapped, Static Prison. Makes sense. So this is going to be Energy, and this is one of the less favorable matchups for Mill. Maybe our version will be better. Verdict is pretty good draw if they go wide. Go Rune Crab, Flooded Strand. The only downside is, too, is if we mill a Fleege. We mill Discharge, 2 lands. I'm just going to Surveil now, just because we have the crab out and they have no mana. Like, we don't have to pretend like we're doing anything. There's a Fleege. So obviously Surgical would be pretty good. Another Hedron Crab. It's really awkward with Supreme Verdict, but this is 12 right here, plus 13, 25. Visions will find stuff. I'll keep it on top. It's also like a chump blocker if we need it. All right, Static Prison goes down to 1. And if we ever get Hedron Crab back, this is probably going to be like an Ajani. Ooh, Guide of Souls, Ocelot Pride, Ragavan, okay. Much less intimidating, but we're never going to get this back now. Hedron Crab, play that out. Play Scalding Tarn. Funny enough, they haven't fetched anything, so I haven't been able to Archive Trap them, but we're milling them pretty well. I'm going to fetch now, just again, they're tapped out. Get a Surveil land. Mill them. Mill them. We definitely have to get there before they get 4 lands. That would be the worst thing, probably. And we're setting up for Visions of Beyond. Well, there's Surgical. So now we got to decide if we actually care about Fleege, or if we would just want to kind of go ham on the mill effects. Because we could keep Surgical and just get the Fleeges out and not have to worry about it. 2 turns are at 33. This is going to be 13, 1/3. If we draw a land, we have Visions. I'm going to actually graveyard this. They're at 18 cards in the library. We need to definitely mill them a little bit more before they exile with Fleege too, because that messes up our Visions. That's one reason to keep Surgical, but we're going to try to high roll that. Here's a fetch land, so that's good. We also want lands if we can. Ooh, Thraben Charm. Okay. 19 cards in library. They fetch. So now Archive Trap is live. So I guess we're going to take this. It is going to give them the 4th mana, but hopefully it should be okay. Field of Ruin. Okay, cool. They have 3 cards in hand. We're going to Archive Trap and Visions. A Johnny. Let's Archive Trap them. We put a Spyro in there. And then I guess we'll just Visions now. Okay, pretty good draws. We want a Visions now too, just in case we do draw another Archive Trap. So Johnny lands. They have 18 cards in the library. Another Visions. We have Supreme Verdict. So we could play a Crab. I think we can just mill them out here. So this is going to be 9 and then 14. So, yep. Nice little turn 4. Again, terrible matchup for us, but we're beating it. And we didn't even have to draw any cards to, or use any cards that would make this advantageous, like Path to Exile or anything. So we'll fetch, get an island, mill them, mill them. Look at Mill being a turn 4 deck. And then we will cast Fractured Sanity, mill them for 14. We can look at their deck. It's probably just like a stock energy list, though. Yeah, and they concede. Anything fancy? Enduring Innocence, the one of. I'm not really the biggest fan of this card in this list, but 2 Enduring, actually. Okay. So against energy, we have 4 Wrath of Skies, 2 Celestial Purge, and Snaring Bridge. So Snaring Bridge can get hit with Static Prison, so it can be awkward. It can also get hit with Wrath of Skies, but we're usually never wrathing for a 3. So what can come out? I think Phantom's not the greatest. We're going to be wrathing a lot for 2 anyway. Can make things a little awkward for them, just in terms of lands, but... So if we want all of this, Surgical is good for Flage. Do we need all of them? I don't think so. We have Path for a Resolved Flage. Tasha's is really good against them. Maybe we'll just have 2 Surgical. I feel like Flage shouldn't be the biggest deal if we're milling them out faster than they can cast it. Then maybe 1 Visions, and we'll try that. All right, game 2, and we have Crabs, we have Fetch lands we're going to keep. No Wraths, notably. All right, they just go Windswept Heath, pass. We draw Hideous Laughter. Let's Surveil turn 1, and then we can maybe double Crab turn 2 or something. Wrath, I'm going to keep that on top. Maybe we'll play it extra slow then because we have the Wrath, but we're definitely going to want to empty our hand. So maybe we will cycle turn 2. No plays again. I wonder if they kept like a bunch of discharge or something. We're going to bolt this in and then just pass. We'll look to double Hesian Crab next turn. Man, they're just not doing anything, so they definitely have discharges. I want them to tap out so that way we can get maximum value, maybe? Goblin Bombardment. Okay. So they definitely have at least 1. Oh, we didn't... no! We accidentally clicked through cycling. That's my bad. So let's go Hesian Crab, Ruin Crab, fetch land, mill, mill. Yeah, we meant to cycle there. I mean, maybe that'll come in handy later. I guess we'll fetch now. They haven't killed this. Like, they could have killed 1. That's weird. That's whatever. You could always wait, I guess, but I was just thinking because they didn't choose to kill 1, I don't know why they didn't. We'll get the archive. Mill them. Visions of Beyond. I'm going to say graveyard that. They're at 11, and I'm kind of trying to empty my hand. No Flages, fortunately. They have Clarion Conqueror. We kind of just want lands, actually. Especially because they have 2 arenas. Alright, they're hasting Clarion Conqueror. What does this stop? I'm trying to think. I don't know. Down to 13. Another Hesian Crab. I mean, I guess we're just going to Tasha's here. Oh, you know what? They went up to 55 cards in library. They just brought in their entire sideboard. So funny. Okay, so Tasha's is not going to be very good. We hit 2 Flages. We hit 15. That's actually not the worst. That's pretty funny, though. You can do that in some decks, but obviously it'll maybe mess with your main deck. I was wondering why they had these. The Raven Charm. We just want lands. They get in. We draw another Wrath. Not very good. We'll cycle. There's a land. It's Otawara, but we're still going to play it. Play Crab, play Otawara. If we draw 1 more land, we can X equals 3 and wipe everything. Still nothing in their graveyard. Oh, they draw the Flage. All right, well, we're going to go down to... Oh, they killed the Crab, actually. That's good. And they didn't sack it. Draw another Crab. Yeah, our draws are not lining up well. We'll cycle. There's a land. Play Crab, play land, we'll fetch, get a tap land. So what sucks is that... Wow, they brought... Yeah, like High Noon and stuff like that. Wrath of Skies. They're at 20 cards, but if they draw a land, they just haste Flage and we lose. So, like, we also could have just played Ensnaring Bridge, but then they attack for 3. They still kill us no matter what. So we just have to deal as much mill damage as possible. Guide of Souls. So we're dead next turn. We just have to rip something. Down to 3. We're going to be down to 1 here. Field of Ruin. Play that. Mill them. Yeah, we can't get under... Let's see. We'll field their White Source. Mill them. Down to 14. Play Ensnaring Bridge. Alright, so they have no white mana. Let's kind of look through their deck. 2 Parlors. Yeah, they could still draw like a fetch land for like Sacred Foundry or something. There are 13 cards in library. They attack with Guide of Souls. Again, they can kill us. If they draw like any creature, they can just ping us with Goblin Bombardment. So depending on what we draw here, we might just X equals 2 to get rid of that. Oh, they're just going to stack and kill Crab. Okay, interesting. Oh, we draw Archive Trap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Archive Trap you. Down to 0 cards. Got some salt on this channel. I'll show you guys this just so if you run into this person, you'll be ready. All right, match 2 on the draw. We're going to keep this hand. We have Fetch Lands, Crab, removal, some aggression with White Orchid Phantom. Maybe we're up against some type of Eldrazi. That'd be pretty nice for this. Temple Garden. Mana Dork? Green Sun for a Mana Dork. Yep. Not sure what this is. Could be anything. Field of Ruin. I'm going to play out Hedron Crab, and I'm going to assume that it's not going to die. You could always just Surveil turn 1 and then play Fetch Land turn 2. But because we're up against this, I feel like we should be safe. Maybe they play black and just Fatal Push it. Then I'm going to feel bad. Windswept Heath, 3 mana. Oh no, it's Elves. We draw Path to Exile. So I guess we're just going to path this. Let's see. I guess we get to see what they're all actually on. You guys can see too. Okay, so confirmed Elves. So at least we can path this. Get a Hallowed Fountain. Mill them a little more. Chord. We'll do this main phase. So they're going to have a lot of forests, so it's not going to be like the biggest deal. But you definitely want to try to mill the forests before you do this. All right, they have 2 cards in hand. Hopefully nothing good. Leaf Crown Visionary, that's pretty solid. Into Nettle Sentinel. So if we can draw like a Supreme Verdict, I'd feel pretty good. They get to draw a card every time they cast something, and that's what they did. Fractured Sanity. So Tasha's could be amazing here. I kind of want to play Field of Ruin, field the Temple Garden, because that takes them off white. I'm not sure what they have that's white, though. And I kind of want to path this, because this is going to let them draw more cards. We could also just play White Orchid Phantom, eat that, and then path this anyway. I kind of like that. Let's do that. So we'll mill them. Maybe we can see what kind of white cards they have. Maybe they're like sideboard cards. Priest of Titania. We actually can't White Orchid Phantom and path. So I guess we'll just path and then, or we'll like cycle Fractured Sanity. Missouri. Could always Tasha's too. Like how much can they really go off? Yeah, let's try just Tasha's-ing and see how much that gets. They have a lot of low CMC, so this should hit a pretty good amount. Not nothing. The Disciple of Freylease, that kind of ruined it. Hopefully us not pathing this doesn't kind of screw us, but we'll see. Ooh, Crayon Ranger's really good. And they're going to be drawing a bunch of cards when they cast stuff. I mean, if they draw enough cards, we can always just mill them for 14. As long as they don't kill us this turn. They get in for this much. Are we going to get God if we jump here like this? Or block like this? No, okay. I didn't know if they had like a trick. They're tapping mana though. What is this? Second main. Priest of Titania. Alright, they're untapping stuff, playing more stuff. See if they want to draw cards. We would love it if they drew off of this. Oh, they did draw. Alright, so we're just going to mill them out with Field of Ruin and Fractured Sanity now. Another field. Play field. Mill them. They untap Leaf Crowned. Do they have like Chord in hand? I guess they do. X equals 2. I'm curious what they're going to get. They get an Elvish War Master. So I guess they just want to get that before it's milled out. But it's not going to matter. Oh, you know what? We don't have triple blue. Oh man, I fetched like an idiot. I thought we had triple blue this whole time. So this will put them to 8 to 4. So they have 3 mana here, and I think they have a mana in hand. So I'm trying to think. We're definitely going to have to like path the Priest, because Elvish Warhammer will buff all of them, and they need 7 mana for that. We're at 13. Yeah, let's just start by cycling. Or do we set up for next turn? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, let's just cycle first. It's because I messed up my mana. Another Fractured Sanity. Seeing if I draw more removal. Let's path the Priest. See if they have any base anymore. Okay, they don't have any more basics, so we can see how many basics they have. 1. I think they have 3. They have 1 here, 1 in exile, and 1 in hand. Alright, we have to pass. Alright, let's see if we die. We're at 13. They have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They have exactly 13. So I guess if they have a Lord or something we lose, they get in with everything. And just block the 3/3. Go to 3. They play another Priest. Oh man, I wonder if because we didn't get that blue last turn. They're at 6. Okay, we're bowed out then. Play Hedron Crab. Play Field of Ruin. Yeah, our mana was just not good this game, but we got bailed out. We fetched very carefully because we didn't want to get just overrun like this, but it ended up working out. So we get to see their whole deck. Kind of stock overall. Mill them. And we win. So Tasha's should still be good here. They have some 3s and then like the 1 random Disciple. But I think if we hit like the 1s and all this, it's pretty solid. So obviously we want Ensnaring Bridge and we want Wrath the Skies. White Orchid Phantom. They have like no targets. Surgical is also pretty bad here. Is there anything else we can bring in? I mean, I'd probably rather have White Orchid Phantoms just because they can block. And they can hit like the Temple Garden, I guess. I don't know. Maybe Surgical just hits like some key pieces. It empties our hand for bridge too. Yeah, we'll just keep that. We're going to be wrathing a lot, so it's okay. All right, game 2. We have the Wrath the Skies, but our hand is pretty terrible. I think I'm going to keep just on the back of this. We'll look to Surveil turn 1. Obviously, we need double white, so that's a consideration. They're fetching, so we can Archive Trap them. Crayon Ranger, Archive Trap you. We get the Dryad Arbor, which is good. We got Priest, we got Azuri, we got the Disciple, which is really good if we draw Tasha's. Another fetch land, really good. So we'll just lead off on a fetch land, trying to get double weight as fast as possible. X equals 1 is probably going to be the first thing that we do. It's hard to get a bunch of mana quick, especially against they fetch again. We'd also love some like point removal like Path to Exile. Down to 16. Another Quarian Ranger. Ooh, Heritage Druid. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be fast enough. This is a really good start for them. Oh no. Jesus. All right. Well, we got to hope that they have just all ramp because they're going to have 3, 7, 8, 9 mana next turn. Oh my gosh. We're getting comboed out here. Oh my gosh, another priest. So if they ever draw a payoff, we just lose, or if they have it in hand. We will surveil. Field of Ruin, the graveyard. Archive Trap. Polluted Delta. I guess we'll pass. So right now they have access to 10, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh my god. They had the payoff. Alright, well, yeah. We can't like respond to this. They have 2 priests. We're literally gonna get turn 3 here. I'm gonna Visions. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah, they can untap creatures too, right? Yeah, so they have access to like infinite mana. Let's cast Visions, just to see. Another Visions, alright. We'll let them kind of do their thing. So this gets to pump for every 5 is 3. So that's 9, 12 damage, 14, 15, yep. And they got the combo. They had like the perfect hand with perfect amount of ramp and then the payoff. Alright, on the play this time. Let's see, we have the Path to Exile. We have some crabs, Tasha's. No Wraths, but we do have Ensnaring Bridge. We have 1 crab, 1 Tasha's, 1 Path. I'm going to keep just based off a bridge and all of this. I think it's fine. I know we don't have a Wrath. You could mulligan very easily just to get the Wrath. But we're going to Surveil turn 1, and then Hedron Crab, Fetch Land turn 2. I think that's fine. Maybe we just Path, actually. But yeah, I could be totally wrong to keep this. Llanowar Elf. I think we still Surveil because we can play Crab and Path it, same difference. Archive. Oh, there's a Wrath, so we're definitely going to keep that on top. And we are going to Path this, I think. I'm not sure. Or actually, maybe we just want to Surveil with this for more lands. I know we're playing the Crab out, but... Ooh, Endurance. Alright, this is fine. I kind of want to Surveil for more lands. I'm glad we got the Endurance out. Wasn't thinking about that. Hopefully they just play a bunch of 1-drops, and I don't care if we get Crab, Quarian Ranger. Alright, they return. They have another 1-drop. Maybe 2-drop? It is a 2-drop. Priest, that's a Tanya. So I think it's okay that we don't kill this now, because if we get rid of the elves, then this isn't going to tap for much, but they could maybe, but I think getting the 1 is important. Mill them. Need a land. Surgical. Don't need that right now. Okay, we draw the land. Mill them. So we are going to kill our crab, but it's worth it to get at least these 2 off the battlefield, because this is like a bunch of mana. I'm pretty sure we want to do that. We could always path this. Do we just want to path this and then Visions and then maybe draw another? I kind of wish I pathed this now last turn, but then we also needed to Surveil for the land. I think I'm just going to Wrath. X equals 1. This represents a bunch of mana. Of course, always pathing this stops this, but oh, we actually got 2 Endurances. That's really good. I wonder how many they run. X equals 1. So hopefully we don't get got by not dealing with this. If we can ever empty our hand, we'd be pretty happy, but right now they have access to 2 mana. They bolt in Disciple. They have Eladamri. We draw Surgical. So let's Surgical their Endurances. We can see what's in their hand and how many Endurance they have. Wow, they have another Priest and another Eladamri. That's annoying. Wow, they have 4 Endurance. Holy crap. I think I want to leave these in here for Visions, but we're probably going to Vision soon. 4 Endurances, though. Wow. Spellskite. Yeah, I'm going to leave these Endurance here and just take these out. Oh, their hand's so good. It's just good because it's redundancy. So even if we path this, and they have a Lush Portico in hand too, so they're not short of mana either. We're in a pretty awkward spot. They can also Chord for Heritage Druid. We could just Tasha's them. Could field them. Nothing seems good here. This matchup seems kind of awkward. I honestly think I'm just going to Tasha's them. I feel like nothing else makes sense with the redundancy. We could just path Eladamri and make them recast it. That's also a thing. And then cast Visions of Beyond. Maybe that's the better play, even though they have another one, but it takes up their whole turn. So we'll see if this pays off. They have 38 cards in library, though, but they did play the Freyleys, and we got all their Endurance. 22? Wait, how many did we get? Yeah, we got 22. Spellskite, Azuri. Oh, only 2 Azuri, so we got their win con here. All right, we'll see if that pays off. They have 15 cards left in library. If we can draw another good mill card, they're going to Surveil. Yeah, they put a land to the yard. Another Priest that we knew about. So their hand is Cord and another Eladamri. So right now we're looking for another Tasha's or something. Scalding Tarn. So they can Cord here. 3. They could Cord for 2. Vision's just cycles. So let's cycle that. Maybe we can draw a crab. They only have 13 cards in their library. Wow, we do draw the crab. Play the crab out. Play Scalding Tarn. Mill them. I'm doing this now because I want to get as many things out of their library as possible so they can't Cord for it. Mill them. Go down to 13. And they didn't have a, what's it called? Beast thing. Crater Hoof, that's the word. All right, and I guess we'll just pass. I don't think I want to path this, because then they play another one. I'll see what they do at their end step. Maybe they Cord for something at their end step. Return an elf you control to its owner's hand. I think that's fine. I think we just take this. Go down to 10. I know we shocked this in. Nettle Sentinel. They still have Cord up. Another path. So reason to path is to get stuff out of our hand. So we could be empty-handed now if we did that. So I'm going to play Ensnaring Bridge. Because they can always like pump stuff and then attack, so it's not the biggest deal. But they only have 7 cards left in library. They can get in for 1, 2... Here's the Cord. X equals 5. Probably just whatever they have left. Elvish War Master. We're just going to path that now. Yeah, we can't forget about Elvish War Master. Hopefully they don't have another one. No, they have another one? Oh, yeah, we messed up. So if we would have pathed when I said to path, so we should be empty-handed now. I just can't believe they had double Elvish War Master. Court of Calling. Yeah, so they drew... Oh my gosh. We milled all of their cards except for 3 Elvish War Masters. That's pretty unfortunate. So now they get to... Let's see. They can only do this once each turn. So how are they going to tap for mana and attack here? 8. All right, so we still win just because they don't have enough mana to tap with Priest and get in for the lethal swing with Elvish War Master. But we obviously could have played that a lot better. All right, match 3 on the play. And this hand sucks. We have no true lands and just kind of a whole lot of nothing here, so we're going to mulligan. All right, this hand's a lot better. We're going to put back 1 Fractured Sanity. We'll keep a trap. And we're just going to lead off on a crab. We're not going to, like, mess around because I want to go crab fetch land next turn. And again, hopefully this lives. Oh, no. We'll see if this is energy or storm. Most likely energy, though. Twice in 1 league. I feel like I haven't seen energy much lately. And then, of course, we're playing against it twice. Visions. Let's play crab. It's also crazy they milled a Flays into the yard, but, I mean, we're just going to be milling them a bunch anyway. And then we'll just Surveil. We're not going to Visions yet. Take this Archive. Main deck Blood Moon. Surgical. Surgical's tempting. It gets rid of the Flage. How much do we care about that, though? They aren't going to be able to have it for a bunch of turns. They're at 39. This is 13, 14, 23. I'm going to say no, and hopefully not regret it. Because I want lands, so all this is active. Still no fetch land. A Johnny. We just want fetch lands. An island. Not the worst, it's a land. They're at 19, so we'll just mill them, and then we'll Visions next turn. So we're getting paid off for not keeping the Surgical, just because it wouldn't have helped our plan. They're at 18. Archive Trap is going to put them to 3 cards if they have a fetch land. Still no fetch land. They do have the Arena, though, and they have a Flage to kill one of the crabs. So in the graveyard, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fetch lands. So now we'd like a field effect. At least this can block the cat. Take a field, please. Beautiful. Called shots, baby. Play the field. Obviously, it would have been better if we had 2 crabs, but now we get to get rid of their Arena of Glory, so Flage isn't a thing. Get an island here. Doesn't really matter what we get. We're still just going to Archive Trap them. Archive Trap. Another turn 4 against Energy. And then we'll just pass. We'll see if their deck is also stock, which I'm assuming it is. There we go. Nice turn 4. So against Energy again, which again is not a favorable matchup for us. We'll see if they also bring in all 75 cards. We'll bring in this. Gonna take out 2 Surgicals. Phantom, Medium. Bring in all this. And like a Visions like we did before. And we'll try that. All right, game 2. And do we keep this hand? Like it's a crab, 5 lands, and Wrath. I'm gonna try it. Why not? It's probably terrible. We don't have path to slow them down, especially if they go like Guide Pride, Ragavan. We'll see how bad this hurts us. Hopefully we just never draw land. Supreme Verdict, something. Let's go Misty Pass. We'll Surveil, and then Crab next turn. Surveil, maybe Wrath X equals 1, depending on what they do. But this is definitely a really loose hand to keep. They hit a Path to Exile. Okay. We would have liked that. Arena of Glory, Guide of Souls, into a Johnny. Goblin Bombardment. Oof, okay. So this is really bad for us because they can just eat whatever we Wrath. So they still ping damage. Pigeon Crab. I mean, we're going to be wrathing. I'll say no. Pigeon Crab's more just for the stall, I guess, and Snaring Bridge. Also, having all of these lands makes it so that MTR hand is a lot harder. Play Crab. Play Misty. No Phage Mill. We'll just Surveil now. Do we want to play around Blood Moon? I'm going to say no. If we get got by that, then so be it. Archive Trap. Yeah, I'll keep it on top. Most likely just going to Wrath next turn anyway. Another Arena Glory. See if they have the Blood Moon. Flage. Okay. Are they going to hit the Crab? They do hit the Crab. So what sucks is that if they have a 4th land, they're just going to wreck us with Flage. Go down to 12. They find an Archive Trap because that's what we kept on top. We'll go Field. We're just going to Wrath now. It's not X equals 2 to eat the Bombardment, but we just kind of got to do it. All right, they pitch all here. So we'll just say for 0 and eat the treasure. So we just got to bank that they don't have a 4th land. They have a 4th land. Okay. We'll see if they Flage. And they have the Flage. So we get the turn 4. They get the turn 4. So I guess that hand was pretty bad. No Path to Exiles. No way to slow them down. But they also had a really good start with Monkey, Goblin, and having the lands and this just all sequenced pretty well. All right. We'll try one more time. Keep a good hand this time. On the play. All right. We will keep this. This one's a lot better. It's only 3 lands. We have the Board Wipe, Surgical for Flage, and then we have this, the Wrath for everything. So being on the play is really important with Wrath Disguise just because it takes 4 turns before this really does anything. All right, we'll start off with a Misty, look to Surveil, then turn 2 we'll Crab. Plains, Ocelot Pride, Meticulous Archive, another land. I'm going to keep it on top. We want lands. Like, you could maybe bin that and assume that you're going to find another one, but this is fine. Pigeon Crab, Polluted Delta, Worm's Chant. They brought in, I guess, more cards again. Meticulous Archive. Again, this is assuming we're not going to get Dash Monkeyed. More so playing around removal. We do mill a Flage. Path to Exile, I'll keep that on top. The name of the game is kind of removal, so I don't mind having a bunch of it, even though it's not a mill card. Maybe you bin that. You know what? We probably should have Surgicaled first and then done that to see. But we're just going to Surgical at their draw step. Hit Flage. We can see their hand and everything. Yeah, they do have the Discharge, a Johnny, and another Pride. Oof. And they had a Flage in hand. Wow, their hand's really good. So we had all 4 Flages, and we can see their deck. They brought in Molten Rain, and they still have Blood Moon. Ranger. All right, good to know. But yeah, this hand's really good. They get to go Johnny, Fetchland, Surveil, or Ocelot Pride. They play Mountain. Oh, that makes sense. Now they play Ocelot Pride. So Mountain, Discharge, Ocelot Pride. So we're definitely just going to Wrath X equals 1 here. And we're going to fetch some basics just to play around everything. Yield all, Path to Exile. We knew about that. So we'll go Flooded Strand. Probably should have got the island first, to be honest, but it's okay. Get the plains. Cast Wrath. X equals 1. So their hand is 2 lands and then a Johnny that we get to Path. A Johnny. Draw the island. We could Verdict here too. Their hand is Arid Mesa, Mystery card. I'm trying to think if we just... I'll play the island out. I'm trying to think if we path this now or if we wait for them to overcommit. I also don't want to get got by like them sacking the cat token or something or killing it. Maybe we'll take 1 turn and see. 10 to 11. No plays. Oof. Another land. Play that out. I guess we'll pass one more time. I don't know if I'm being too non-cautious about this. They're not cracking their fetch lands because of Archive Trap. All right, I'm just going to path this. Go down to 9. Wrath Disguise. Take 1 more turn. Tap land. Yeah, they're just going to beat us down with this. We're drawing a lot of removal, but... All right, back to us. Worm's Chant. Draw Hallowed Fountain. Oh no. We're both flooding, but they have a 2-2. And now they have an Ajani. Okay, that's fine. So we're just going to Wrath the board now. Not feel bad about it. Down to 5. Surgical. Definitely not what we want, but play Supreme Verdict, and I guess we'll pass. We're just not drawing any mill cards. We're drawing the removal half when they have no creatures. They Surveil. They Surveil again. Arena of Glory. Come on, mill cards. It's Crab. Play Misty. Could mill 6 more. I'm trying to think if I want to, or just like bank on another Crab. I think we'll chill. They've milled enough discharges, I think, that we're fine. Oh my god. Mill. We're just all flooding. It's like whoever draws the first threat wins. We did get the Blood Moon, though. Not that that matters right now. I guess we can see kind of what they're dealing with. Ragavan. And it's a dash, too. That's pretty unfortunate. They dash it or haste it? Oh, they hasted it. That's good for us. Block. And then I guess we'll get some lands out of our deck. Island. Down to 3. Island. Yeah, if they would have dashed it, that would have been way worse for us. Because everything we have is sorcery speed. Tasha's. And we got all 20. We'll just Wrath also, just for funsies. Cast Rat Disguise. X equals 1. I can't believe we beat Energy twice this league. That's insane. There we go. All right, welcome to the final match, and we're on the draw, and we have a 3 crab hand. It is a 1-lander, but we're on the draw. 3 crabs. Last match, not going to throw that back. Fetch land is just insane here. Or just running lands if they don't have any removal. And being on the draw makes it a little bit more enticing to keep this kind of hand. Polluted Delta. Surgical Extraction. Okay. We will play crab. Opponent fetches, and they get a Watery Grave for Fatal Push. Let's see it. There we go. First Fatal Push of the league. Usually you see a lot more. So this could be Control. This could be Gorios. We'll see. This could be a lot of things. They surgical our Hedron crabs, which is hilarious because we have 2 ruin crabs. If they did surgical something important, I would surgical in response. But because they're not, I'm just going to let that go. That's actually really funny. Main deck surgical. Unless this is just the mirror, and I'm going to be really annoyed if it is. If you guys have been following this channel long enough, you know I hate playing mirror matches. I just think they're so boring. There's a million decks. Oh my god, it is. All right. They play Hedron Crab, Field of Ruin. They get Archive Trap, Visions of Beyond. And we'll see whose version is better. If we can draw land. Land, please. Ruin Crab. Chuck that in. Ruin Crab. I don't think there's anything I want to surgical out of their graveyard yet, but we'll see. So fetch land, still the best draw. The funny part is if they field us, we get 2 effects and they only get 1. All right, they play an island. They hit another Archive Trap, White Orchid Phantom, and Surgical. They do field us. I'm going to get the island. I'm going to assume that we're not going to need the planes right now, like for path for this. Surgical, Fractured. So they're just playing like the stock blue blacklist. I really don't want to cycle this yet if I don't have to. If we don't draw a land, I will. Fetch land. Huge. Mill them. Chalk in Hallowed Fountain. Mill them. And then we're just going to Tasha's them. Not going to mess around. You could maybe surgical Archive Trap before we do that. Did we hit Archive Trap? We did hit 1, so that could have been a play. 13's not the greatest there. And then we'll just pass. They have 2 cards in hand. Yeah, they did Archive Trap us. Damn. So if we would have surgical the Archive Trap before doing anything, we would have been in a better spot. Visions of Beyond. They draw 3. Yeah, we could just be dead here. There's 2 Archive Traps and then 1 in exile. Trying to see what else they could have, like Fatal Pushes probably. They surgical Fractured Sanity. I'm going to let that go too. I would only surgical again if we had it in hand. They play Shelldock Isle. So we could always White Orchid Phantom that if we do draw a fetch land. They're going to kill one of these. They do drown it. So I guess just like a mill spell wins it, right? Come on, mill spell. Fetch land. So let's start with a Visions before maybe we can draw a crab. We can always look to see how many we have, but Archive Trap. All right, so we're going to Ruin Crab, fetch, get an island. Or, get a plains. And then we will White Orchid Phantom, kill the Shelldock. See if they search or not. It'd be awesome if they did, but it doesn't look like they're going to. Maybe they get like a... No, they didn't search. They have 1 card in hand. So now we kind of have to go through their entire deck and figure out what we want to surgical. So 1 Fractured, 2 Fractured, 2 Archive Trap. And then we've hit Glimpse, 3 Archive Trap, 1 that was exiled. I think I'm going to hit Fractured. 1, 2. We've only seen 2. Their library is Drown, Fatal Push, Crab, Land. Okay. And their hand is what? Their hand is Glimpse. All right, we didn't get a chance to see Glimpse. So they only have a couple. So we need them to draw like a Fatal Push. If they draw a land, we lose. We need, 3 good draws, 2 bad draws here. And we weren't able to double White Orchid Phantom them. So this is going to be, do they have it or not? No lands, please. No lands. There's the Glimpse. Down to 2 cards. No, they drew it. Damn it. All right, so against Mill, against the Mirror, which is so annoying. Bring in these, the Fairy. I think Supreme can come out. Force is solid. I think Tasha's isn't very good. It's sorcery speed, and it's just not as good as it could be. 1 Phantom out also. I'm gonna try that. All right, on the play for game 2. And this hand's fine. We have Surgical, we have a Crab. Not the most exciting, but it's like we have Path for their Crab after we Crab, which is good tempo. We have Surgical just in case they surgical something that we care about. So we could turn 1 Crab. They could push it. I'm just going to play this tapped, actually. Because I do want to play the Crab into fetch land. If they do have the push, at least we get something out of it. I think it's fine. Like, they most likely have a Fatal Push. Maybe they run out of Crab of their own. Okay, cool. So we can Crab and then path this. Archive Trap. Play Crab. If they have Archive Trap, they get to trap us. Not the biggest deal. We're going to be getting non-basics just to make it so that field effects have less effects. So we milled a Thoughtseize, Spell Pierce, and we'll see if they have the Archive Trap or not here. They're acting like they do. Alright, we'll Archive Trap them. Get some good stuff, maybe. Toxic Deluge, some Glimpses, Extirpate, Blood Chief's Thirst, okay. Ruin Crab, Surveil Land. So how many basics did we get out of their deck? One Swamp, just the Swamp. They do keep it on top. We're most likely gonna cycle. Okay, another Crab. So we'll see what they kept on top. Maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't. They kept a Thoughtseize on top, interesting. We'll cycle now. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. If we had a blue card, it could matter. Trying to think if there's anything we want to actually surgical here. Another Crab, Shelldock. We can field this, but they have the better fielding. Drown, Archive Trap. They don't really hit anything of ours. It's probably Drown or Archive Trap we hit. Probably, I don't know. I feel like they're holding up or Drown, so let's just Drown. We'll surgical that. See if they want to just kill the Crab in response. Oh no, they had the Archive Trap. There's one or the other. We'll leave this here. You can see what they brought in. Pretty stock. So what sucks is if we field, they can Archive Trap us. Draw an island. I mean, I guess we just chill. I don't know. They have a good hand, obviously, with Archive Trap and Fractured Sanity. I think if they go to Hardcast Fractured, we're just gonna force it. So hopefully they don't draw a land. Land is obviously the worst for us. Of course, they draw a fetch land. That is not good. Again, this is why I hate mirrors, because it's just like, who draws the crabs? Who draws the fetch lands? Let's see if they hardcast Archive Trap here. Okay, they just hardcast. I guess this makes sense. Just force it. They hardcast Sanity. I mean, fortunately, they can't trigger, let's see, Shelldock. I guess they can Shelldock soon. Visions. We will Visions. They only have Archive Trap in hand. Play the island. I guess we could have played the Flooded Train, actually. And we will cast Fracture Sanity. We want them to have to hardcast the Archive Trap. So if they do that, they spend their entire turn. So again, we got to bank that they don't draw a land. Oh, they can activate Shelldock. Oh, because it's A. Great. Is it A? If A library. Okay. Oh man, they have Tasha's. We're just dead. All right, so that was Azorius Mill in Modern. So what do we think about this version compared to the stock Dimir version that we actually just played in match 5? I think that they each have their own different game plan. Like, yeah, you're trying to mill your opponent out, but for this version, we're focused a little bit more on land destruction, whereas the typical Dimir deck, it's mostly mill with a little bit of removal and counter spells. I think in a heavy Eldrazi meta, this version is a little bit better. Typically, mill is already good against Eldrazi, but having the White Orchid Phantoms on top of your land destruction just really helps. I think white giving us access to a lot of good sideboard cards like Wrath of Skies, Teferi, and Celestial Purge really do make the difference here in terms of going white instead of black. But overall, I feel like this was a more proactive version rather than a reactive version, like we said, with any counterspells. We did have the Supreme Verdicts and the Wraths. So in the end, it's hard to say which version's better. I think it depends on preference. I really do like having 4 Wrath of Skies in the sideboard, though, just because it hits so many popular decks right now. White Orchid Phantoms are hit or miss. Unfortunately, we didn't face any decks to where these actually mattered, so that wasn't great. But having Path to Exile was solid, Wrath was good, having Force was pretty solid too. But overall, it was a fun deck. If you're into Mill, I'd definitely say give this version a go. But that'll do it for me. Thank you so much for watching this Mill video. If you want to see more modern content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Peace.